All right, good evening, guys. As Mr. Hand said, I'm Josh. I'm 17, and I felt like I should share my testimony about how I came to Epic. So I've always been a very independent kid. I've never relied on people necessarily. I don't like relying on people. It's not in my blood. I like that I can rely on myself and that, I can manage that. So growing up, I, always kind of was independent, and I would keep myself in my room, but I was happy until we took these two kids into our house, and the only person that I felt that I got affection from in our house was my mom. And my mom focused a lot of her attention on these two kids, and I started to, I would always isolate myself, but in that isolation, I started getting attacked by the enemy, and a lot of anxiety and depression came with that, and I would have these anger outbursts, and I started to resent my mom because I just felt like she didn't love me, and I felt alone, and I felt like no one cared for me. And when, I would just sit in my room and dwell on these thoughts, and, I still wasn't getting that love that I needed, so I started seeking it through suicide. I started cutting to get attention. I would threaten suicide on my parents all the time. And I would go into my room and cut myself, and eventually, on one of my big old outbursts, my mom called the cops on me, and because she couldn't handle it, and I got put into psychiatric care overnight. And that was a really big, heavy hitter for me, just being, that I felt so alone and just like I was hopeless. And growing up in GT, I had always heard that stuff like that was demonic, it could be demonic. So I started seeking counsel on that. My mom, thank you, Mom. Yeah, you stand up. My mom, she started making me meet with this guy named Mr. B, and he was the first male role model in my life that showed me Christ and like this love of Christ. And he would always, we would meet weekly, and it was I just felt so loved on. And then COVID came, and I went back to isolating, and I sat in my room, and we got pulled out of school, and I would kind of pretend to do schoolwork, but I'd be playing games. And so my mom eventually found out, and we started looking for different schools. And I don't know if we have the picture, but at the time, I had really long hair. It was down to about here. Some of you might remember. And I had a lot of pride in my hair. It was the only thing that I felt like I can control. And the pastor at that school said that I would have to cut my hair if I wanted to attend. And when we walked out the parking lot, my mom was asking me if I would go, and I said, there's no way in hell I'm cutting my hair. So we started looking for other schools, and GT had Epic, and I asked if they were gonna make me cut my hair, and they wouldn't. So I was fine with it, and going to Epic, I originally had the intention of making no friends because I was okay with relying on myself, and I live all the way in Wheatland, so I didn't want friends in Yuba City or wherever else they came from. And I would sit in the back of my class with my head over my hair over my face, with my head in my arms or lap or whatever, and I'd just sleep in class. And that all changed when I started. Well, Jet, he's up in the media team. He's up in Crow's Nest, but. Jet, if you don't know him, he's the CrossFit guy around here. He's also a teacher at Epic, and he invited me to one of the basketball nights, and I don't know why I came. I honestly really hate basketball. I'm not good at it. I know I'm tall, but I really hate it, and I suck at it. But I decided to come, and I got this friendship with Zach, and I'm not Zach, sorry, Jet, and Jet showed me like this new, like that Christ could be your friend, which I hadn't experienced before because all my friends were in the world, and I would honestly hide my Christianity from them. And it was just really cool to be brought up by this guy that, was okay in his faith. And eventually, I started hanging out with his family more, the Tades, and the principals at Epic, and the family that runs it. And they just showed me this new love, and it was Christ's love, and it just shined through them, and it was like so amazing. It was so new and refreshing, and I had never experienced something like that, and God really changed my life through them. And with that, I got baptized last summer, and over the summer, I started a little workout program in my friend's garage, and I led 2 of my friends to Christ over the summer. And we've led, me with the 3 of us, we've led another one to Christ, and we're still leading more, and we're starting little groups in Wheatland High School. And I just want to let you all know that if you let God's love hit you like it hit me, if you just, there's people that God will put in your life that will show you that love and affection no matter what. And if you just sit there and take it and, let him love on you through that person, oh my gosh, he'll do so much for you, man. It's just been really amazing. Thank you, guys.